Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim, who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalio, and this video is on Bible prophecy and the time that is ahead of us. You know, the time is called Jacob's trouble. All right. Now, you have this article right here from zerohedge.com, which happened yesterday, and it says T-threat. NYC now deploys largest military presence in subways since 9/11 aftermath. All right, and I want those who do listen to take note of the times that we're in. You know, the way how things are escalating around the world. You know, and how it is that in these days that we're in right now and the days to come, that things are always like at a, they're deemed as unprecedented or hasn't been since this time. You know what I'm saying? It goes to show you the time that we're in. And it's clear that we're close to the end of the rulership of the so-called white man, who are the biblical Edomites, whose forefather is Esau. They rule this wicked kingdom today. And you know the wicked are in rulership because the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemishai are not established anywhere around the world. All right? And it is clear that these so-called white people are ruling. Okay? Just for their currency to be the number one currency around the world is enough to let you know who's in rulership, right? The American dollar. And America, which is known as Mystery Babylon the Great, is that main hub, right, of the Edomites, right? And then they have others as well. But America is that place, man, of main focus. All right? And you have here, it says, New York Gov. Kathy Hochul beefed up the number of New York National Guard members patrolling NYC subway stations, marking the largest military presence in the city's subways since the aftermath of 9/11. This heightened security coincides with mounting public hysteria over unidentified drones in New Jersey, New York airspace and the rising threat of terrorism. Oh, I said the word. Oh boy. They might end up striking the video just for saying that word, but I'm reading an article, so I mean it's what the article says anyway. And so let's get into that. You know, we've been hearing news about these drones all across America, and you know, the people, the citizens of America have all taken to it and have taken watch to it. And you know, Esau Edom was putting out there in the news because you know they control the narrative, right, in regards to their media, because they are in control, right? So they control all of the media and everything, right? And he was putting out all kinds of confusing things, like they were saying that it was drones that are like the size of SUVs, which I've never even heard of that before, you know. And then they were saying, oh, Iran was deploying from some mothership these drones or whatever. And then we've been but then like the image that you see of these so-called drones are not drones. You know what I'm saying? They look like something not man-made, right? And then you have individuals who are coming out from the military and saying, oh well, the yes, they do in fact deploy drones up there, but what's been happening is that what those drones are encountering up in the sky are shooting down the drones, right? Now, of course, we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemishai that, you know, based on like the images that I can say that I have seen, that these are the chariots, man, which the angels are in. This is Esau put out a lie out there saying UFOs, right? Just a part of his deception, because we're dealing with the devil. He has lied about so many things. He's lied about. He's lied about people's nationalities. He's lied about saying that he's the Lord's holy chosen people. He's lied about, he has changed the scriptures and completely changed it into his version of salvation and all these kinds of things. He lies about so many things. He lies about who invents things. He lies about who are great people who contributed greatly to society and all of these kinds of things, man. We're dealing with the devil, is deception, right? But the time of Jacob's trouble is coming, man. All right, when you measure the time and see what's happening, because the chariots showing themselves in this kind of way is a sign of the end, and they're going to be manifesting themselves more and more, you know. In 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and thou sayest part of the signs past which I have told thee before. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, right? And the Lord is showing the chariots more and more, and the spirit that's out there is that the Lord is putting it out there where the chariots are being seen, and then people are recording the chariots over and over and over again, to the point where now it's like people in the world are like, yo, what is this? These ain't drones, these ain't planes, they're UFOs. They're going to believe, oh, UFOs and aliens, because that's a lie that was sold onto them. But we're telling you that they're the chariots of Yahweh Shemishai. Alright? Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and we've seen these things many times, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. Right? So we're in that time, because we're approaching the end of the rulership of the so-called white man, the Edomites. Right? Their kingdom is a kingdom. Yes, they were given the blessing by Isaac. Esau was given the blessing that he would have dominion on the fatness of the earth and dew of heaven. But it's a rulership that has an expiry date, right? The scriptures say that his bounds are appointed, that he cannot pass, right? And now, because of these, as it says, this heightened security coincides with mounting public hysteria over unidentified drones in New Jersey, New York airspace, and the rising threat of T, right? Now they're using it as an excuse to mobilize the military, right? You see how this devil can do things, you know? Because the way it appears, you know, I speak as a man, is like, okay, the chariots of Yahweh Shemishai are showing themselves, etc. Now the narrative, they're losing control of the narrative, right? So now they're like, okay, maybe let's try and change the narrative to our benefit, and let's start mobilizing, right? Which we know that these times are coming, because the time of Jacob's trouble is spoken about in the scriptures, right? On Wednesday, government Hochul told reporters that 250 additional guard members will join the already deployed 750 guard members to combat R, M, and R that plague NYC's subway system, right? In March, when we heard about the initial deployment, we asked, okay, so this is what's going on, right? And, you know, with knowing the scriptures and knowing Bible prophecy, it is not a surprise that they're mobilizing the military, putting the military in more spaces, right? So that when it is that they're getting ready to push their NWO agenda, which will have the mark of the beast, which is a market chip, at the forefront of it, they're going to already be in place. That's what Esau is doing right now, man. He's putting things in place, right? Because he's about to bring terror and hell upon the world, right? And we, as Israelites, are entering the time of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 4. And these are the words that the Lord Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child, Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And it is the elect of the nation of Israel that will be saved out of Jacob's trouble, right? But it says so that none is like it, right? And the nation of Israel, we have gone through very horrible times, okay? And this is going to be the worst yet, so you can only imagine what the Lord has in store, the judgments that Yahweh Shemishai will be bringing. Daniel 12:1 says, And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. So the elect of the nation of Israel will be delivered out of the judgments and the perils. All right? But, the wicked unbelieving of our people that refuse to repent, refuse to turn to Yahweh Shemishai, will have to face the judgments that the Lord is coming. And the sword, Esau, is one of Yahweh Shemishai's swords to bring judgment onto our people. Okay? And in 2nd Esdras, right, chapter 15, the Lord says in verse 5, Behold, saith the Lord, I bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Right? The world is wicked because the rulers are wicked, and then our people take onto it. Right? It says that the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted, right? And the vilest men are exalted, these Edomites. And people look onto them as the way of life because they have so much power, because they're in rulership. And then our people take onto those vile, abominable, disgusting ways, and it is all unto their destruction, right? Because Yahweh Shemishah has sent out the prophets onto the world to tell you, no, this isn't the way, and this is the way, right? And the people say, no, we will go with the ways of wickedness. They turn their face away from Yahweh Shemishai. Okay, and in Isaiah 5:20, it says, Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Right? So woe unto you, man. All right? That, take on to the ways of darkness, man. Right? And have things, turned upside down. Because, our people have a spirit on them where they really believe that like they're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And then they follow the ways of the Edomites, and it's all wickedness, and it's all unto their own destruction, man. But the time of trouble is coming, man. They're moving their military, and we know these times are coming to escalate to a certain point, because in the same 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 14, it says, Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Salakio. And when people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. Right? So things are going to be getting really bad out there. All right, really bad out there. Whereas it says, people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands, and you know what the modern day sword is. All kinds of weapons. Right? And the main weapon that they love over there in America. And it says there shall be a sedition among men. What's a sedition among men? It's those that revolt. Right? And they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. So they're not going to, the time will be coming where the people of the world, in various different places, but especially over there in America, Mr. Babylon the Great, is that they will not regard their kings or princes, man. They won't be listening to the government. They won't be listening to their rulers. They won't be listening to anything. So it's going to be the wild, wild west out there, man. Okay, and then they've showed you movies that have come out like The Purge, which Esau always shows you what is to come. You know what I mean? in his media and stuff like that. So these things are all coming, man. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? Because martial law will be coming, right? And they can bring in martial law in any kind of way. They can bring in a medical martial law. They can bring in another kind of martial law for whatever reason. They could, I don't put it past the devil, and I'm just speaking as a man. I'm just saying as a man that the chariots of Yahweh Shemishah, that they could use that, seeing that and be like, oh, we really don't know what it is, and they can dive deeper into the whole narrative of UFOs, and they can use that as a reason for martial law. I mean, we're working with like it's a devil. You know what I'm saying? It's a devil that we're looking at. So he can bring about any kind of excuse to the world to bring about certain kinds of things and chaos. All right? Because he's the great deceiver, man. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So the lack of bread and great tribulation, right? Because we're going to be in great tribulation. Us, the Israelites, because we don't care about the heathen, all right, we will be in the time of Jacob's trouble. And people are going to be acting out, and our people that don't believe, that have no faith in Yahweh Shemishah, that don't have no faith in salvation, that don't have no faith in the kingdom, all right, they're going to be out there fighting and scrapping and all these kinds of things, and they're going to get slaughtered out there, man. But these are the judgments of Yahweh Shemishah. And of course, that famine is really what's going to draw out a lot of people and get them acting buck wild out there, all right, because when they're hungry, okay, people are going to act crazy. And then when it is that the food is restricted, and then the food can only be found in one place, and then in that place where you can find the food, the only way to access it is that microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Well, that's just the plan of the devil, man, to put people in great struggle so that they turn towards him and seek him for salvation, but it will be unto their own destruction. But Jacob's trouble is coming, man. It's clear to see we're in those days, we're in those times. All right. And then just the other day, or maybe like a day ago as well, the state of emergency, California, you're right, Governor Newsom declares state of emergency in California due to bird flu. All right. So that goes hand in hand with the pestilences that Yahweh Shemishai will be bringing to the world. And there it is again, a state of emergency over bird flu. Okay. And who knows how, whatever else. And, things will get worse, because the scriptures say that things will get worse. The scriptures say that there will be so much death that people won't be able to mourn the dead anymore, and that the bodies will be cast out as dung, which means that there won't be any time for any funerals. The time is coming that is very terrible, man, and only those who believe and trust in Yahweh Shemishai will be able to get through it. That's all it is, plain and simple. All right, plain and simple, man. Okay. Yeah, man. So with that, the time is at hand. Jacob's trouble is coming, and things are just going to get worse, and things are just going to escalate with time. So with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai by Shemar Kodesh. Shalom.